As we continue reading The Old Man and the Sea, Lesson 5, pages 45 through 71, there are some important vocabulary words that you might need to understand in order to follow the story. The first one is surge. Surge means to rise suddenly. This is a picture of a storm surge and a hurricane storm surge where the water rises suddenly. And this is a fish surging out of the water. In the book, the big fish that Santiago has caught surges suddenly and pulls him forward. Next is lurch. Lurch is a jerking or swaying movement. The fish lurched and pulled this man almost into the river. The same thing happened with the fish and Santiago. The fish surged and Santiago lurched. Coagulate. It means to change from a fluid state to a solid or semi-solid state. When you give blood, they want it to be in liquid form so that it can be helpful. We don't want it coagulated because then you can't use it. Synonyms, words that mean the same thing as coagulate, are clot, congeal, thicken, or gel, like this jello. Phosphorescent. This is to emit or give off light after exposure to radiations like light or electrons. The light keeps going. In the book, it says the line showed like a phosphorescent streak in the water. He means his fishing line. These are examples of phosphorescence in the ocean. The next word is teeter. Teeter is to move unsteadily. This house is teetering on the edge. You may have heard of a teeter-totter on the playground. That's when two little kids get on each end of a big stick thing and go back and forth. Teeter-totter. Now, if this house were to fall, it would then be submerged. Submerged means to be underwater. This house is now submerged under the ocean. This is a scythe. In the story, it says, his tail, which was sharp as a scythe, and almost of that size and shape. We usually associate a scythe with the Grim Reaper, the one who's coming after you in death. So this fish, if his tail was like a scythe, it may have looked like this. This is a rapier sword. In the book, it says, holding the rapier bill with its sandpaper edge. And he's actually talking about when he grabbed the marlin fish. He and Manolin had caught a marlin fish, and he had grabbed it by the bill. You may have heard duck bill. That's the nose kind of on a duck. So you can see here that the bill on the fish and the rapier sword look very similar. There's a literary device that Ernest Hemingway uses in Lesson 5 that's personification. Personification means when you represent a thing or idea as a person. For example, when Santiago talks to his hand, he acts as if his hand is a person. He says, cramp then if you want. It will do you no good. Now you can let the cord go, hand, and I will handle him until you stop that nonsense. So that's when you give an inanimate object personality. As you can see here, someone has done that to these little fingers. They've made them into little people. They have personified them by putting little faces on them and indicating that they might be in love. Personification.